Hey, babe, how are you?
I'm doing well. How are you?
Well, good. I'm doing good. Welcome to episode 2 of our little podcast that we've started.
Yep.
Like always, before we kind of get into the meat of everything, I want us to do a little bit of a kind of an icebreaker exercise. So,
Exercise.
I'm gonna I don't like exercise either.
Did you say extra fries or exercise?
Extra fries. So what we're going to do, a little exercise before we get started. And last time I went first, so I'm going to let you go first this time. So what I want you to do is we're going to do 3 each, but you'll give me one rapid fire question and I have to answer it. And it's just, could be a 1-word answer, but I have to tell you the answer and why I said that answer. So
About anything?
It could be anything like horses or cows. It could be anything that you want that you would want to ask, and I have to answer it and tell you why I answered it that way. And then I'll fire one back. You'll fire one. I'll fire one. Gosh,
this is going to be hard.
Nah. All right, here we go. You ready? Go.
Bourbon or beer?
What? Is that even a real question?
It is.
Bourbon. For many reasons. Bourbon is a much superior product than beer. I'm allergic to beer. I'm not allergic to bourbon. I love bourbon. We moved to Kentucky so I could be around bourbon.
That is not a lie.
So yes, bourbon is the answer.
All right.
I got a hard one. I'm going to start off with a hard one.
Of course you are.
Dogs or cats?
Oh, gosh. It's hard for me. I mean, 6 years ago, it would have been dogs hand down because I did not like cats at all. But thanks to Caleb and Midnight, I fell in love with them, and now I actually have 5 of them. I don't know. I mean, if I see a dog in need on Facebook, I want to go adopt it. And if I see a kitten or a cat that is on the side of the road and needs a home, I want to pick it up too. So I honestly cannot answer that. That's like asking me to pick a favorite kid, which I will never do.
That's my second question.
Nope.
Just kidding. So you're going.
I really don't. Answer. I don't have an answer.
All right, your turn.
If you could only watch one sport for the rest of your life,
college football.
Really?
I don't know.
Well, hang on. Let me just tell a little bit. Sometimes I'll come in the living room and Bo is watching a sport that he's never ever watched in his life.
Like cricket?
Like cricket or bowling or something. And I'm just like, what are you doing? This is the championship. He has not watched it for 40 something years, but now all of a sudden he's interested in the bowling championship. So I'm just always giving him a hard time about if there's a sport on, he's going to hog up the TV watching it.
Can I change my answer?
No. You said college football.
I do want to change my answer. So I do love college football. I look forward to college football every year. And now that I live in Kentucky, I look forward to it much more because when I lived in Tennessee, like everything in Tennessee is about the Vols. And if they lose, people want to burn the city down. Here in Kentucky, being a Kentucky fan or probably a Louisville fan, they don't care. Like they don't care that, so it's not, the pressure's not there. But I want to change my answer to rugby. Like rugby is probably my favorite sport on the planet. I just don't get to watch it a lot. So if I could pick and I could watch a sport every day, it would be rugby.
Okay.
Because I love rugby. Okay. Mountain or beach?
Beach. Hands down. Always.
I figured that. Why beach over?
Because I'm just I like warmth and sun. And I mean, the mountains are beautiful and I like looking at them and hiking them, but usually it's cold or chilly or whatever. And I just like to be where it's warm.
Good call. I agree.
If you could be anything but what you are now, like a graphic designer, videographer, whatever, like if you could go back and choose a different career, what career would you choose?
Do I have to choose another career?
Yeah. I mean, what are you going to do? Just stay at home and not work?
No, I mean, I love the creative side of what I do. I've been at my company for 18 years, almost 19 years. doing creative stuff. And then, like we mentioned earlier, we moved to Kentucky to be in the bourbon industry because I was doing creative video work for the bourbon industry. So we moved up here to do more of that. If I could be anything, I wish I had played more guitar when I was growing up. And really, so back when I was growing up, there was none of this independent kind of do it yourself on Facebook or whatever.
There wasn't even internet.
Yeah, I mean, but nowadays it's easy for kids to pick up an instrument and learn it, post videos on Facebook, and you have a better chance of being seen that way than back when we were doing it. You had to either fit the mold of whatever genre was out there, and if you weren't what they wanted, you didn't fit in. And so I feel like that wasn't really a real option, but that's what I would, if I wasn't doing this, that I wish I had done more with the guitar with the thought of going further with that. So that's what I would do. Of all the places that we've been on vacation or traveled to or whatever, what's your favorite?
Oh, my favorite location was, of course, Hawaii. We went with that when we've been to Oahu, but the unfortunate part of that is our kids weren't with us, so I miss them. So I guess my favorite would have been when all of us were able to go to Grand Cayman on that excursion.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, I hate that you got sick, but it was beautiful, and we got to snorkel, and I just remember Joshua was like maybe 9 or 10, and he and I were holding hands snorkeling together because I was afraid he was going to drift off, and he just the look on his face and how much he enjoyed that, and the other kids enjoyed it. That was probably my favorite. Yeah,
that was a lot of fun. All right, so that's the end of our rapid fire questions. Hopefully we learned some stuff about each other, or at least hopefully somebody learned some stuff about us. So let's go ahead and just jump into the meat of what we're here to talk about.
Welcome to Loving Our 25 to Life. I'm Heather.
And I'm Bo. Together, we've been married for over 25 years.
Yeah, baby!
And this is where we talk about life, love, and all the adventures we've had along the way.
Oh, wow.
Whether we're sharing stories from our marriage or taking you along on one of our trips, we're here to reflect on how we've made it this far and where we're headed next.
So grab a seat, settle in, and let's dive into another episode of Loving Our 25 to Life. So this episode, we're here to talk about kind of how it got started, how we met. We'll talk a little bit about our first date together. I mean, I'll probably use the word date. I mean, we were what, 6th grade, 7th grade. So however much a 7th grader can date, that was what it was. But let's go ahead and talk about how we met. So for this episode, we kind of do this thing that I remember a story differently than you remember it.
Yes.
Let's take these topics, how we met and our first date, and I'll let you start. You tell me what you remember about how we met.
No, I started on the rapid fire questions. You get to start this. Start.
So what we'll do is just hear each person's side of the story and see how closely we remember it. Okay. So how we met was in 6th grade. My grandmother was the Sunday school teacher at the local church, and I was in her Sunday school class, and I don't know if it was every week or every couple weeks, we would go visit kids that were my age, but were either in her Sunday school class or kind of new to the community. And so one week we went to visit this new family that had just moved to town. So we show up, we walk into your house. Y'all had just moved to Jackson, Mississippi from New Orleans, the New Orleans area. Mm-hmm. And I don't remember really anything about the visit. I don't remember what was said. All I remember is whenever I left, we got in the car. I told my grandmother, I said, I'm going to marry that girl one day.
Y'all, if y'all could see pictures of me when I was in sixth grade, I don't know if he was high or I don't know, because I just would not have looked at me and said, I'm going to marry that girl one day, because I think I even had a mullet. Like, wasn't that a thing? Like, I had a girl mullet. It was awful.
It was in the 80s, so you had a girl mullet. And
I didn't, and I hadn't
poofy hair, like the frizzy hair.
I hadn't had my braces yet either, so I looked like a chipmunk because I had such an overbite.
We all look like that. And
so when he tells me that, I'm just like, what in the world? Like, you were destined for punishment from day one.
So yeah, that's how that happened, and pretty much this is where our story kind of differs. I like to think and tell people that we dated on and off through the rest of, that was the end of elementary school. So I like to tell people we dated on and off the rest of like middle school, or junior high was what it was called back then. But junior high and high school, Heather has a different take on that, which is,
you're just my really good boyfriend. Friend that was a boy. You were in the friend zone the whole time.
Friend zone.
I liked being around you, though. You were fun.
Maybe.
You made me laugh.
All right, so let's talk about our first date. That was in 6th grade when we met, but it wasn't till 7th-ish grade that we went on our first date. So you start with this one.
All I remember is there was that movie theater right outside the Metro Center Mall, right? Wasn't that where it was? Okay.
Yep.
And Honey, I Shrunk the Kids had just come out, and I'd been wanting to see it. And I don't even know if you asked me or if I asked you or if it was just planned or what happened. But I do remember your mom coming to my house and picking me up in that big van that she used to drive. I don't even know what it's called. They don't even make them anymore.
It's that Econoline.
It was... It was huge. And it was just us two, or did Amy and David go with us? So my cousin Amy was, I guess, spending the summer with us.
Yep.
And David Landrum was a friend of Bo's, and he, I guess, we were trying to double date, or maybe Bo knew I wouldn't go with him if it was just me and
yeah,
him.
probably.
So we set up David and Amy to go with us, not necessarily as a couple, but just, like I said, I think both thought I wouldn't go with him if he didn't have backup. But, and I thought, okay, we'll go. And I don't remember how we sat, but I do remember I did sit by Bo, and I don't know if David was on the other side of you and Amy but I think Amy and David sat together too, but whatever. Anyway, and I just remember that at some point in the movie, we had a Coke, we were sharing a Coke, or were we sharing it? Mm-hmm. Okay. We were sharing a Coke, and it was kind of dewy and cold, and I was holding it. My hand was cold, and Bo tried this slick move trying to hold my hand. And I initially started to hold his hand, and then I kind of pulled it away, and I said, "Oh, my hands are just wet. I don't want to hold your hand right now." And I don't know why I didn't want to hold your hand. I liked you, but
you didn't like me.
I did like you. I don't know if I was afraid Amy would tell my parent. I don't know why I didn't want to hold your hand, but I mean, I had fun. And then after that, we did a few more things together without people with us.
Mm-hmm.
And that big Econoline van your mama drove us around in.
That was a big old van. Yeah, I do remember. So we went to see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids. I don't remember anything about the movie because the whole time I was trying to build up the nerve to ask you if I could hold your hand. And I do remember it was in the scene where the little ant finds the scorpion, and the scorpion and the ant are fighting. It was in that scene whenever all that transpired. So I do remember that. And then I remember, because I was that kid, and I probably still am this guy to an extent, but I was that kid back then that just never, I don't know how to say this, but nothing was good enough. So like we went on a date, and I had to call you and had to find out if we were going on another date, and if we were going to, like, I was just that persistent kid that nobody likes, just. That
is not true.
Well,
you had a lot of friends.
I'm talking about, though, just I couldn't leave well enough alone. And so I remember this is what I remember about ending that date. So my mom took us there, but David's mom picked me and David up, and your mom came and picked y'all up. And so we went our separate ways. And I just remembered, like, his mom wanted to go run a bunch of errands, and I wanted to hurry up and get home so I could call Heather and find out if she wanted to go on another date.
Because back then, we didn't have cell phones, so you had to wait till you got home to check the answer machine and make phone calls. So
we finally, probably 2 hours later, got home, and I think I was spending the night with David that night. So we get home, and I called you, and probably the truth of the matter was you had your cousin over, so you didn't want to have to be on the phone. So you kind of blew me off, like, I got stuff to do. And well, how I took that was, oh, she didn't have fun. And then I remembered the song. The song came on the radio.
Toy Soldiers.
And it's kind of a depressing song. And so that just ruined what was a great day, and then it just ruined the rest of the day. And it was just this weird, like, dang,
Martika.
It's just this weird vibe. So yeah, that's how that all happened. But yep, that was our first date. That was how we met each other, how I promised my grandmother that I was going to marry that girl one day. So yeah, there's that story. So next time on Loving Our 25 to Life, we'll talk about our famous prom incident.
Which, for those of you that know me well, you know that I don't have a really good memory. So I don't remember a lot of the things that Bo does. Like, for example, I didn't remember who picked us up from the movies when we were in 6th grade. And Bo has a really good memory about things like that. My therapist says it's because of some childhood trauma I had that's completely unrelated to Bo asking me to see Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
Yeah, right.
So as we go through these stories, my memory is very hit and miss, but he remembers a lot of stuff. But I do remember the prom incident and my mother slamming the door in your face.
That's it for today's episode of Loving Our 25 to Life. Aww. We hope you enjoyed the conversation and found something to take with you on your own journey.
Remember, love is an adventure. Sometimes it's wild, sometimes it's calm, but it's always worth it.
Yes!
If you've enjoyed today's episode, be sure to subscribe, leave a review, and share with someone who might need a little inspiration.
And don't forget to follow along for more episodes and vlogs documenting our travels, life lessons, and hopefully plenty of laughs.
Thanks for joining us. Until next time, keep loving life because it is the greatest adventure of all. Bye for now.